There we go. Social studies is beginning. I need you to get your books out. So we just finished the Revolutionary War. Who fought in it? Please I want everybody's hands. Please know this answer. Who fought in the Revolutionary War? James.
The British and the colonists.
Yes. So the British and the colonists. Why the colonists are now called what? Grayson.
Americans.
Yes. America has been born.
Yay!
Why did they fight against the British? What were they unhappy about? Christian.
That the British king raised its taxes and for freedom for the country.
Yes. Taxes and freedom. Absolutely. What about representation? What did that mean? That was another big one. Taxes, freedom, and they wanted to be represented. What did that mean? What did that mean, Olivia?
They wanted to obey the laws.
Yes. So King George kept making law after law after law after law and telling the colonists what they had to do. And they had no choice in the matter. And it just became more and more of an issue. They wanted freedom. They wanted a say. Remember in, what was it? Was it reading? We talked about a dictator. Or dictate. Remember that word that we had in our word roots? That's what King George was doing. He was dictating all of the rules and the laws for the colonists, and the colonists had no say. So they went to war. The colonists won. And now we have a new country, the United States of America. So it was a very different United States of America than what we have now. I want you to open your book to page 28 and 29. And there is an important word on top of that page. This is in your textbook, not your manual. Your textbook. What is the word that is the title of this chapter, or this word, the study of now? Grant. Cole, would you like to help him?
Constitution.
The Constitution. The Constitution is kind of a big deal. It is what forms this country. And our founding fathers started forming the Constitution as soon as the Revolutionary War ended. And they were probably talking about it prior. And quite honestly, it wasn't always an easy matter to hammer out. This was a very passionate group of people. As you can imagine, they just finished a war. They gained independence, and now they have freedom. Freedom to make their own laws, freedom to make their own country. So there are a lot of people with a lot of ideas. Do you think there may have been some arguments about how this country was going to be run? Yes. They were very intelligent, they were very passionate, and they had ideals that they wanted for this country to be. And so, they were free, but they had a lot of work to do. Where was this battle fought? Was it over in England, or was it on our land? In America, in the colonies, where was the battle fought? Whose soil? Ours or Britain's? Did we go to Britain, or did Britain come to us? Owen?
Britain came to us.
Yes. So you have all of that you have to deal with too. You have a war. So things are destroyed, because wars tend to destroy property. So you have all this going on. And so America is starting to set up its own government. So if you read in the middle of the chapter, or the middle chapter of page 29, how many states did America have at this time? How many states? It says America had any. Think about that. How many states are in the United States of America now? Tessa? I'm sorry, what? 50. So we picked up a lot of states. But at the beginning, there were only 13. If you turn the page to page 30, you can see them. They are in pink. What do you notice about these states? Where are they located? They're all located in one area. What area are they located? There is a reason for that. Look at the map on page 30. The pink states. What do you notice about that? Where are they located? Wensheen. I'm sorry, what? Well, it's not. No. What is it on? What are these states on? They're on a little piece of water that is right there. Just a little tiny ocean, a little piece of water. Nothing major. It's just a teeny tiny.
The ocean?
Yeah. Why? Why do you think the first states of the United States of America were all on facing the Atlantic Ocean? Who can tell me why all the 13 states are basically right here? Here's the Atlantic. Here's Europe. Why is it easy to make the first colonies right there on the ocean? Cole?
So they could sail out?
Yes. What were they mainly doing at this time in history? What was their main source of money? What did they do? James? Trade. What did they trade in? Airplanes? Bikes? Did they cross the Atlantic Ocean in bikes? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
How did they get from point A to point B? Gabe? Yes. So it's only logical that the first colonies were all built on the ocean because trade was occurring. Ships were leaving, ships were coming. That was the main mode of transportation. They didn't have airplanes. So ships. And so logically, it would be very difficult to get a ship in middle America, would it not?
Yeah.
You can't sail on land. They didn't have cars. They didn't have planes. They only had horses and wagons and their legs. So ships in and out, that was the main focus, was trade. So here we have the colonies. These are the first 13 states of America. The East Coast. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania. Do those states sound familiar? They still exist. The East Coast. And if you continue to look at that map, please look at the map on page 30. What else do you notice? What is the orange part? What is the orange part indicated on this map? Christian? Territory. Now they're not even states yet. It's just a big glob of land. Where are we? Are we even on the Northwest Territory?
Yeah.
Kind of. There's a part of us that are. Yeah, we're mostly there. Yes. And what is the red? What is the red? Toby? Southern Territory. And the yellow? The poor little slash of land. What is that? Owen.
Disputed territory.
Disputed. It means that they can't agree who owns it. Or what are they going to do with it? There must be still arguing going on. So they call it disputed territory. So, a lot of changes have occurred. What is a territory? Not states. Those aren't states. The only states that are listed on that map are the original 13 states. What is a territory? Tyson.
It's like stuff like if you say like if a dog does like this, they're not
Okay, what was that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
spots that they did not been to.
Yes, spots that have not been inhabited yet. Nobody lives there yet. They're just open land. So Wisconsin is just open plains, wild grasses, some trees, lots of forests, but no people. Well, Native Americans. But the colonists have not even begun to explore, colonize, and live in these territories. Is that a big area of land? Yeah, and that doesn't even include all of the United States of America. It's just a small portion. We're not even talking about the West Coast. I mean, Louisiana's there, but they're not even part of the territory yet. So think about what the changes have occurred in that period of time. All right, so, oh, yes,
My mom was born in North Carolina and my dad was born in Pennsylvania.
Well, there you go. They were part of the original states. You can tell them that when you come home. You can go home and say, you were born in one of the original states. That is pretty awesome. All right, so what did they begin to work on? What do you think, if you are a new country, what do you need? Chocolate, ice cream, and cookies?
I wish.
What is important in order for the country to run smoothly or somewhat smoothly? James? Resources. I'm talking about government. So up until now, who ruled the colonies? Who ruled the colonies? Grayson?
British king?
Yes. King George III. Yes. Well, he comes. He is over here in Europe, in Britain, ruling the colonies. We're not even close together. But he had all the control. And so now the colonies have complete freedom. What do they need to start doing? What do they need to make in order for things to be stable, in order for there to be some kind of conformity and some balance? Human beings need what to have a smooth situation? James? A government. Yes. And what is this government going to create? Wensheen? Laws. Yes. Very, very good. Otherwise, you just have pure anarchy, which is no laws, no boundaries, nothing. You just do whatever you want. That may sound nice, but it gets very ugly very soon. You have violence, you have stealing, you have bad things that happen. People need laws. So, the colonists knew that. The founding fathers knew that. And if you look in the next paragraph, the states agreed to work together, the 13 states. They made a set of laws called the what? Look at the bold word on page 29. Owen.
Articles of the Confederation.
Confederation. Articles of Confederation. It set up a national government for all 13 states. Now, do you think everybody loved this? No. Probably in some ways the same reason why they didn't like to be ruled by England, King George III. Some people, they're not going to always agree. There's always going to be disagreement. And that is what the founding fathers recognized when they created the Constitution. So the states chose how much to tax their people. The states decided if their men had to join an army, and the national government could ask the states for money or soldiers. But the states could choose to agree or not. Okay, so we have 13 states, and you can choose to follow the laws or you cannot choose to follow the laws. How successful do you think that's going to be?
Not very
Cole, go ahead. Not very successful. Why? Why do you think that is not going to be successful? Tyson.
Maybe not a lot of people are gonna join the army, so if there's another war, they're probably gonna be
True. They need soldiers. Do people like to disagree with each other sometimes? Yeah. Especially when it comes to people telling other people what to do. So, there were other changes for America. Americans were moving west. Okay, so if you look on our map, it doesn't have a compass on it. What direction, if you look at Virginia, on the map on page 30, we're on page 30. Look at Virginia. What direction is west? If you look at the map and the index or the key, what would they hit if they would go west? Jonathan.
The Northwest Territories?
Well, yeah, if they continue, they're going to mostly hit first, depending on where they are in Virginia, but they're going to hit one of the territories, either southern or northwest. That is west. Why do you think they are starting to go west? There's nothing there, people. There's nothing. No towns, no nothing. Why are they going west? Ironically, the same reason why the colonists went to the colonies to get away from England. M.
Because a lot of people weren't following the laws.
Not necessarily. Maybe some. If they were unhappy with the situation, maybe, because, they can get away and go where there's no people. If you don't like people, then go to the territory, because there's nobody there. But there is a key reason why they are starting to move west. Owen.
To get away from King George.
Oh no, King George has nothing to do with us anymore. Remember, we are America. We're free. There is no more King George III. He's in England. Why did the colonists start moving out of England into the colonies? Why did they start leaving? Why did they start leaving here to come here? There were nothing here. And if you look at your map on page 30, there's nothing in the territories. What is the correlation? Toby. What's that? They wanted to be free, yes. I mean, they're still going to be part of the United States, but if you get out of the cities, you are going to achieve more freedom, because you're going to be on your own, literally on your own. What else do they need? So as more and more colonists get into these 13 states, what do you think is going to happen? Are people going to get a little crowded?
Yes.
Is there going to be a lack of resources? So then why would you move west if you were living in one of these nice little 13 colonies, or states now they're called? M.
Because be crowded.
What's going to be crowded, the territories or the cities?
The city.
Yes, they're going to be crowded. Is there going to be a lot of land if you're a farmer to farm if it starts getting crowded? No. So the same reason why the colonists initially left England is why they're moving west. They want more land. They want more freedom, less people. So they start moving. So, Americans were moving west. This caused problems because no one knew who owned what land. That is a problem. They didn't have real estate agents who had plots of the land written out where this person owned that. It was just free land. You had all these people moving into this land, and nobody knew who owned it. So that could be a problem. Sometimes 2 or more states claimed the same land. In the end, the states gave the western lands to the national government. So the government owned the land now instead of states, because the states were starting to fight over who owned what. So, as you can see, we have more problems arising. Even though we have our freedom, we have growing pains. We don't know what we're doing. Before, at least, we had laws set by King George III. We knew exactly what to expect. Now everything is poof, we have to figure it out ourselves. So on page 31, it says problems arise. What kind of problems do you see can start happening in situations like this? They're starting to come up with laws. They're making new states. People are moving to the west to get away from the cities. What do you think could start happening? What is one scenario you can think of that could happen? Yes, Jonathan? Yeah, they're going to start getting angry again. So, let us read on page 31. Problems arise. Who wants to read that first sentence, or first paragraph? This is all important, and we need to listen. This is all what is going on in this country at the very beginning of the birth of this country. M. As the states tried.
As the states tried to work together, the new country faced many problems. The national government was weak. Its leaders were not always wise, and it owed a lot of money because of the Revolutionary War. Money that is owed is called a debt.
All right, debt. We talked about the expense. Remember the French and Indian War was fought against the French and the Brits, and we helped the British, and we won the French and Indian War. War is expensive. Why? We talked about this before. Why does war cost a lot of money? What do you need to buy to win a war? Luke?
Weapons,
Yes. Weapons. What do you need to put in the weapons in order for them to work? Christian?
bullets,
Yes, ammunition. What else do you need? Jonathan?
ships, and planes.
Well, no planes, not back then, but ships. We didn't really have a navy. The British had a huge navy. The American colonists did not have a navy. The navy is the branch of military that deals with water-based weaponry and fighting. So the early colonists didn't really have a navy at this time. Christian, but yes, eventually they would.
You also need shields and swords and stuff like that.
Well, they didn't have shields and swords, but weaponry. Yeah. So back then in the Revolution, they had guns. They had bayonets, which were these big swords that they put at the end of the gun.
What? Weird.
Yeah, a bayonet, which was they would put the bayonet, which was a big sword, at the end of the gun to use as another form of weaponry. Not very pleasant thought. So they didn't have a lot of different weaponries, but they needed. You need weapons to fight, right? So all that costs money. You have to feed the soldiers. So you have to. A lot of them have uniforms, don't they? If you look at soldiers, they have uniforms. All this costs money, and the money nowadays. The Americas have debt, which is they owe money. They don't have money. So state governments face these problems. Many state governments had leaders who did not make good choices. People often thought character and education did not matter during elections. And then the taxes were too high. Well, this all sounds very familiar. Some leaders made foolish or selfish laws. Some states also made their people pay higher taxes to pay for state debts. What does it sound like? High taxes? What does this sound like? Leaders that are not making good choices and not listening to the people? What does this sound like, friends? Tyson?
King George.
Yes! Isn't that interesting? They are acting essentially just like what they escaped from, because that's what they know. And soldiers who returned home to farm found it hard to pay their bills. Taxes were too high. So, people are getting upset. And we have a lot of situations, a lot of things brewing. I want you to read. Who wants to read on page 32? Because this is an important part of what got things going and change. And there's a name in bold. Can somebody tell me the name in bold on page 32 in Sheen? Daniel Shays. Who wants to read that paragraph about Daniel Shays? Owen.
In Massachusetts, Daniel Shays led a
Rebellion.
rebellion against the state. He used to be a soldier. Now he was a farmer at home. He was afraid he would lose his farm because he could not pay his bills. About 2,000 men joined him. They attacked the courthouse and a weapons storehouse. The state sent soldiers and they stopped Shays' rebellion. Shays' rebellion worried people. They feared that a mob or crowd might come and try to rule the states. Some asked if the Articles of
Confederation.
Confederation was strong enough to hold the country together. The national government needed to be able to stop people who broke the law.
Very good. All right, what is a rebellion? Jonathan.
Something against.
Yes. So we have these people like Daniel Shay who fought in a war, comes back, and they can't afford to keep their farms, and so they form a rebellion against the government. People are getting frustrated. Things are not working. The Articles of Confederation is not working. The states do not have enough control over the people. And the people are getting worried. They don't know what is going on. They're probably thinking, well, it wasn't great with King George III, but it's amazing how people forget why they were so angry when they are still worried about what is going on now. Things are not that great. Freedom is hard. And they have to learn how to make their own way. So, with this is going to arise the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution, friends, is still in existence. It is a set of laws that the founding fathers founded, wrote, agreed to, and now still, after all of these years, is still working. So that's pretty amazing. So I just lost the name of it. The Articles of Confederation, thank you, was the first start, and it was a good place to start. They realized that they needed laws. People need laws. People need boundaries. That was a start, but it wasn't enough. So 12 states sent delegates to a convention or meeting in Philadelphia. Look at your map. Where is Philadelphia? It is a city in a state, one of the few cities. It has a little dot. What state is Philadelphia in? McKenna. Pennsylvania. So the 12 of the 13 states sent a delegate. What is a delegate? A delegate What is a delegate? It's in bold. It's very important. It's one thing that the colonists did not like about being under King George III. They didn't have delegates. What are delegates?
A person who represents a group of people.
Yes. So this person is chosen from the state to speak for this particular state. Now we have senators and we have Congress people that speak for Wisconsin. We elect them. And then, of course, we elect the president. But we have state representation. We have people that we elect to speak for Wisconsin. Every state has a delegate representing them. It's very important. Why? Why is it important to have a delegate or representation speaking for your state? Why is that important? Why do you think that is important? I want some answers. I need you to star. I need you to focus. We're almost done, but we don't fall asleep. Why do we need representation? We have spoken about this often. I'm going to start calling on names if we don't participate. What purpose does a delegate do or a representation for your state? Owen.
Represents it.
And what does that mean? What does represent mean, Owen?
Like you show people. Like,
Show. You might show them what?
about it. The state.
Show what about the state?
How it's good.
How it's good. Yes. What else? Very good. So these people represent, let's say Tyson is our Wisconsin representative, and he's going to go to Washington, D.C., and he's going to speak on behalf of Wisconsin. Do you think he's going to go there and say, Wisconsin is not a great state, I don't like it? What is Tyson going to do? Is he going to do what? How is he representing Wisconsin, and what is he going to do when he represents Wisconsin? Gabe.
He's like going to say Wisconsin is a really good state.
Yes, and then he's going to give reasons. Why is Wisconsin a good state? Why? What makes Wisconsin so awesome? Luke.
Because the Army protected us from it.
Does the Army protects us what?
The Army protects us from it.
Sure. Grayson. What else makes Wisconsin good? Awesome. A great state to live in.
It's really warm in the summer.
It's really warm in the summer. Yes. Someday we'll get back to that. Toby. Yes. A lot of people to make friends with. I like that. Christian.
You have lots of food and water.
Lots of food and water. We have lots of lakes in Wisconsin, don't we? Which is a huge plus. Olivia.
We have, like things to keep us like healthy and like medicine and stuff.
Excellent. Yes, we have an incredible medical departments in Wisconsin. We have the University Hospital. We have the Children's Hospital. We have Meriter Hospital. It's a research state. The UW-Madison is a big school that researches medicine. They've been doing a lot with COVID, friends, with the vaccine. They've had a lot to do with that. That is something to be very, very proud of. Emma. A lot of places to live. Owen.
We have all 4 seasons.
We have all 4 seasons. And you know what? That is, I mean, yes, winter gets a little long, but I do like having 4 seasons. That is a huge bonus. Jonathan.
We have lots of seasons in Birmingham.
Yes. Yay for Elsa the cow. Yes. We have a lot of cows that give us lots of yummy ice cream and cheese and all that wonderful stuff. We are the dairy state of America, friends. That is something to be proud of. Yes, Cole.
There's a lot of good schools.
There's a lot of good schools. Yes. M.
I forgot.
So when, oh, go ahead, Olivia.
We have like places that we can like ride on, like trains and cars.
Transportation. Yes, very good. Boy,
That we have Baby Grace home.
what's that?
That we have great home.
We have great homes, yes. We have opportunity to build homes. We have land to build homes. That is huge. Emma, fresh food and water. So when Tyson represents Wisconsin, that's what he's going to do. He is going to represent us by telling the people in Washington, D.C. how awesome this state is, and he's going to defend it, and he's going to represent it, and he's going to be the person that talks to people to get if we need help. He will be the person to go to Washington, D.C. to state the matter in which we need. So that is important. All right, we already had time. My goodness.
What? That was so serious.
I know. So, good discussion. I am not,
Do we have that homework?
we were going to do this today. We'll do it tomorrow.
So no homework.
No homework. So, actually, you know what? I would like for you to do this because otherwise we're going to get behind. So, get your planners out.
No.
Friends, no, we're not going to start acting like that.
Okay, a little bit, yeah. Yeah, a little.
It's not hard. It's a fun little puzzle.
Ooh.
Yes. You can always do that. Absolutely. You can always work on your comic strips. Page 18 in your manual. All right, when you get that written down in your planner, you need to write this down in your planner. First and foremost, I need you to hustle. Did you write it in your planner? You're fast. All right.